Is Trent Alexander-Arnold a snake? This is the aftermath of my thoughts on Trent Alexander-Arnold going to Real Madrid. So it's been about 24 hours now since we've had proper confirmation saying basically the deal is done. Now, yes, you could argue we've known for a couple of months that Trent Alexander-Arnold's going to be going to Real Madrid, but there's always that thought in the back of your mind, oh no, twists and turns. We've seen it in the past with previous players at other clubs than my club. But these are my thoughts, and whether do I class him as a snake or not. So let's dive into it. So when I was thinking about it, I did come across this tweet. Now, fair play to Marca, they've actually been fairly correct on the Trent Alexander-Arnold situation. Regarding the move to Real Madrid, they was one of the first people that actually reported it and said the deal was going to happen. It was all ahead, full steam ahead. Trent Alexander-Arnold was going to be leaving Liverpool. And they've come out and said this, that Trent Alexander-Arnold made his decision to leave Liverpool late 2023. Now, that does link some goalposts because obviously Fabrizio did tweet, I think about a year ago in February, saying that Real Madrid are highly interested in Trent Alexander-Arnold as their number one priority in 2025 when his contract is obviously free and he's a free agent and he can go to any club. There could be some correlation between that because obviously if Trent is thinking about leaving Liverpool and at the same time Real Madrid have a strong interest, is that where Real Madrid are getting into his head and stuff like that, running down his contract, as he has been doing for the past 2 years? But my thoughts on this is, to be honest, Liverpool probably should have had his contract maybe done even a year ago. So when Trent had 18 months, 2 years, 2.5 years, Liverpool should have not have had the arrogancy of, look, he's a local lad, Scouser born and bred, vice captain, loves the club, he's going to sign, no panic. Don't get me wrong, I was in the same camp, and a lot of other people was in the same camp that like, oh yeah, Trent will sign, Van Dijk will probably sign, and Salah will probably be the one to leave at the 3 when we're having these talks and debates and discussions, probably about a year ago and regarding these 3 on the contracts. But Liverpool should have been more aware of this, to be honest with you. And we probably should have started contract talks before that. Now, people will use excuses. Oh, we didn't have a sporting director with the thing. Then Klopp was announcing he was leaving. Then we had the midfield rebuild. People get paid to do their jobs. And this is simply going to happen again and again. It's a fact. Look at the names that Liverpool have let go for free over the past couple of years. Now, Joe Matip, yes, Albini is retiring. Thiago, yes, Albini is retiring. Naby Keita, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Adam Lallana. The list can go on and on and on. Now, these will be, oh, but they're fringe players. Oh, but we can still get money for them. Just like we can still get money for Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah, but we chose not to. But then people will say, oh, but he was integral to the team to try and win a title-winning team. But then a lot of people will also say, he doesn't really fit Slot's system. Now, a lot of Liverpool fans and a lot of other clubs are saying that, oh yeah, Trent doesn't really suit your system anyway, so it's fine. So what is it? We keep him for the title race, or he doesn't suit our system, or should we go and keep him and try and get some money for him? Which narrative are we trying to spun here? In my opinion, the whole saga. Now, we're not going to talk about Virgil van Dijk and Salah, but based on Trent Alexander-Arnold alone, for me, it's 60-40, 60-40 the other way, 50-50, because Trent should have had a bit of, pride and love towards the club and said, look, I don't want to be here, stuff like that. There's a chance to recuperate some money, because if he loves the club like he says he do, why would he want to go out like this? And now everything's all linking back together, not doing no interviews, wanting to keep his contract situation behind the closed doors. This whole shush 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 emoji to try and calm down the Real Madrid noise. Because let's be honest, it wasn't about, oh yeah, Real Madrid interest and all that. It was about to try and keep down the noise of Real Madrid having an interest in Trent Alexander-Arnold and potentially getting a deal done in the summer so he can get out the back door, scoot out, say goodbye to everyone, and then Hala Madrid. That is probably what Trent Alexander-Arnold had a rough plan in his head, and obviously it's now completely backfired. As we know, in the international break in March every year, that's where effectively you start to see strong transfer rumours, like you've seen the Isaacs over the past couple of weeks. We've seen it in previous years when we had a strong interest in Jude Bellingham, and a load of journalists reporting that Liverpool was front runners, favourites for Bellingham. Bellingham was their number one target. And then obviously David Ornstein came out in the March international break, dropped the bomber about Jude Bellingham, saying, yeah, Liverpool are calling their interest. Fabrizio, Liverpool are calling their interest in Jude Bellingham. We know the March international break is when the transfers and everything starts heating up like mad. And that's what's happened exactly again today with Trent Alexander-Arnold. And what a shock after the news has now been reported. Now you've got seen Fabrizio's Paul Joyce is now saying Liverpool are pushing to sign Van Dijk to a contract. Forget the pushing. I reckon Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah, their contracts are done. They're done. They just need to be announced, a few last little bits of details, because it puts pressure on Trent Alexander-Arnold. It points fingers at the football club. It puts pressure on the football club because they'll be thinking, hold up a minute, these two have signed, announced, boxed off. Why isn't the local boy Trent Alexander-Arnold signed? Because he'll face scrutiny and the club will get a lot of stick and a lot of fingers and everything to point towards it. That's just my honest opinion. And obviously, there's now been rumours that Trent Alexander-Arnold was offered a 325k a week. If that is reported to be true, because we know what FSGPR is, so let's just take it with a pinch of salt. Let's not go around saying, oh my god, it's 100% true, because we don't know, right? We know what FSG are like when it comes to transfers and contracts and stuff in the past. We've seen in the past where they're trying to spin the narrative and point the finger at something else. So let's just be objectively here. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just all PR, but if Liverpool actually did offer Trent Alexander-Arnold 325k a week, you can't really blame the football club. Now, it depends on what Trent's reasons are. Is it due to ambition with Liverpool, lack of activity in the transfer window in the past couple of years? You know, is that one of them? Or is it where Trent has now think, right, look, I've done everything for my boyhood club, everything on that path. It's now time to do my own career, because he's like, I'm 26 now. I'm getting to that point where I'm coming into my prime. Now, I get that. The thing is, for me, with Trent Alexander-Arnold going to Real Madrid, right, it's not actually him going to Real Madrid. It's the way he's gone about it over the past 2 years now, with the reports and everything coming out. It's the way he's, not said nothing. Remember, Trent Alexander-Arnold is a vice captain. He's a boyhood Liverpool fan and all this and that. If you love the club, you'll come out and say, look, this is the situation. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Yeah, there's certain stuff I can't really say. That's understandable. But you can at least be honest with the situation. You can be like, look, I've had a couple of offers. No, I've not had a couple of offers. Because Virgil van Dijk has been saying that. Mohamed Salah has been saying that. Previous players that play for this football club have come out and said stuff on those situations when it's regarding contracts or transfer moves. Do you know what I mean? So, but then you could argue, but he might not want to push a move away. Well, which way is it then? You leave on a free, and now you're going to be painted as snake and everything. Or you could at least go on the free and you could have at least one bonus side. Look, I made you a lot of money. Go and reinvest that club. Go and reinvest that back into the club. Wish you all the best. In my opinion, anyway, I don't back this football club to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold's position. I don't back this football club to go and replace the players that we need. So, yeah, I just simply don't, to be honest with you. On my personal thoughts with Trent's one of my favourite players, man, over the past 10 or so years. I've grown up on Trent Alexander-Arnold, obviously due to my age and stuff like that. But look, he's won everything with Liverpool. Do I wish him all the best? I mean, I don't wish anything bad on players. Like, I don't wish he. I'm not going to be one of these fans where, oh, I hope he has something bad happens to him or his family, or I don't know, he goes and gets like 5 ACLs in a row and he's out for a couple of seasons. I'm not going to be like that sort of fan. I'm just not going to say nothing. He's leaving the football club, and that is simply it. He's chose to leave. That is his decision. Liverpool Football Club moves on. There's no bigger player than Liverpool Football Club. Doesn't matter if Messi joined, Ronaldo joined, what the fuck ever, right? There's no bigger player than Liverpool Football Club, and that's the standards we have to have. We move on. Without Trent, we was here before Trent, so we're going to be here after Trent Alexander-Arnold, and that's just how the football club is going to have to be moved. And the priority now is keeping Virgil van Dijk, the best centre back in the world, and Mohamed Salah, and it's as simple as that. And fingers crossed we go into the summer and we can have a really good transfer window, and Arne Slot can get the backing that he deserves after his first full amazing season, which he looks like he's going to go on to win the Premier League. And that ultimately needs to be our focus. Let's not let this Trent Alexander-Arnold news and whatever affect Liverpool winning number 20. Because this is going to be a historical moment. We're equalising Manchester United's league titles. We're going to be finally going to be able to celebrate as fans, celebrating a league title. Because we wasn't able to do that for the other 30 years, and obviously COVID ruined it last time. So let's not let this news affect the situation. I think that's going to be my mentality from now to the end of the season. Enjoy the rest of the season. Celebrate the league title. Obviously, we go and win it. And then obviously I'll make my judgments on the transfer window at the end of the window. What I think about the window and what could have done better and what my rating is. I do think there's going to be some interesting points. Does Trent Alexander-Arnold go on the bus parade? That's going to be an interesting one, because I think it really does depend on his injury. Now, I believe he could potentially be out for the season. You can tell by when he was upset and all this and that, when he got injured against Paris Saint-Germain. If he comes back, what's the reception going to be like? We'll have to wait and see. I'll be intrigued if he actually gets on the bus parade. I think that's going to be a really interesting one, because if you think about it, that's end of May. So, and obviously the Club World Cup is middle of June. So you'd expect him to be probably getting ready for Real Madrid's Club World Cup, to be honest with you. It's going to be interesting, but I just thought I'd give my true aftermath thoughts now. I've calmed down a little bit on the situation regarding Trent and what should have happened. My opinion, we could have sold him in January. We could have sold him in the summer. We could have sold him last summer. Trent, on his behalf, should have come out and said something, because he talks about it means more and all that. Should have come out and said something then, shouldn't he, mate? And let's not forget, a year ago he did say, "Oh, when the reporter said, do you fancy a move in Spain and all this?" He said, "No, not really." I mean, yes, he did really, because according to the raw reports now, you wanted to leave late 2023, and you've been in talks with Real Madrid over the past year, so you clearly have had some thoughts about playing for Real Madrid, mate. And yeah, Liverpool Football Club moves on without Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's a shame, it really is, because he was one of my favourite players, man. But it is what it is. Make sure you do smash the like, subscribe to the channel on the road to 800 subscribers. I would really appreciate if we can get there as soon as possible. But yeah, take care. We are out.